we go.
Boring Reviews! Hello, welcome back to Boring Reviews. Nick here, and I am bringing you a solo reaction. This is actually an impromptu, last-minute solo reaction. Let me explain. So me and Jody did a reaction. Here's a thumbnail for it right here that I had ready to post about our reaction to The Unbeatable, going to America's Got Talent, and getting that golden buzzer from Dwayne Wade. I have not seen any of their videos. I had seen that the Vesser Bunch did reactions to them and a few other channels did reactions to them. So I thought, why not? We had a request for that video, and I thought, why not? Let's go check it out. Post on YouTube, gets blocked instantly. Try to change some of the audio, gets blocked instantly. So obviously, it's not going to work on YouTube. So for any of our patrons, go ahead on Patreon right now. It is right there. If you want to see this reaction and you're not a patron, I'm sorry. I would love to be able to show it to you. I tried. YouTube would not allow it. Go to our Patreon so you can see the exclusive reaction there. As far as this video goes, still want to get a video to you guys tonight. And yes, I have some saved up, but I have those scheduled for certain days. I want to check out this video called Is the Hindu Religion in Danger? By Sadhguru. And this is a request from Shubham K. We have a Shubham that always gives us great requests. This is a different Shubham K. And this is a video that I was going through the requests, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I don't know a lot about the Hindu religion. Me and Chris did a reaction to the Hindu Religion Explained, but I'm not going to say I'm an expert. So this came up. I was watching the first few seconds, and I was like, you know what? I do want to do a reaction to this. I am a very religious person. I was trying to think how I wanted to word that. I believe in God. I believe in Christ. I'm a Christian. Okay, I'm a very religious person, and I really enjoy doing Coke Studios, even though I don't monetize any of those videos, and I get them out to they take a long time to edit. I like those videos because a lot of those songs are focused on faith, and so I want to check out this. This guy is honest. He asks a question about religion. Is it dangerous? And then this Sadhguru starts talking, and that's when I stopped it right away because I was like, you know what? I think this would be a fun thing to watch with the audience and then react and give my thoughts. I'm not a theologian expert. I'm not a scholar in religion, even though I have spent some time as a missionary. I've spent some time on the front lines doing a lot of studying. I'm not an expert, so I want to check this out. I'm hoping that you're with me because you want to watch this as well and you want to hear my take. If so, thank you so much. And if you like what I have to say, give me a thumbs up and go ahead and consider subscribing to the channel. And if you like religious videos, if you like videos that talk about the topic of religion or songs, check out some other videos that I have in that vein. But let me go ahead and check this out. I'm excited to watch the rest of it. It started talking. Let me rewind it a little bit. All right, I'm going to get into this. Thanks again for the request. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And here we go.
Guru, first of all, namaskaram. I'm a Hindu by birth, not by choice. So basically, I'm an agnostic kind of person. So my question is, like, we all have been encountering a statement everywhere, like on social media and in our day-to-day life, that our religion is in danger. First of all, this question comes in my mind since my childhood. What is religion? And the other thing, how is it in danger? And is it necessary to have a religion at all?
What is religion? Is it necessary to have?
See, take a few minutes. He's asked a question.
Sure.
See, I wanted to look back on this nation and see what is the context of this nation. If you look back on the history of this country, there was a time when there were over 200 political entities. Kings, I mean, many small kingdoms, big empires. Sometimes certain kings came and conquered and made it into larger empire, sometimes it broke into small. Largely it was been somewhere between 100 to 250 nations within one geography of what we call as Indian subcontinent today. Oh. But though there were so many political nations, people from outside always called this land as Hindustan. Yes? Even now, if you go to Arabia, let's say Lebanon and Jordan and these kind of places, you will find thousands of women in Lebanon are still taking the name Hind. It's a name, because in their language, Hind means India. I asked them first time, I was surprised, why are you taking name India? I mean, in Lebanon, why are you Indian? They say, no, this is our culture. We always connected with India. Probably these people are somebody who went long time ago. They become part of that culture and they look like that, everything is like that. Must have been thousands of years ago. They must have been homesick. When you're homesick, you call your daughter India. So at least I can call India, India every day because I'm missing my country. So that tradition is still there. But even then they called Hind or Hindustan, though we were many nations within this subcontinent. Oh, okay. So why did they call this nation Hindustan is, one thing is it's a geographical identity. The land that lies between Himalayas and the Indus-Sagara, which is today called as Indian Ocean, they call this Hindustan. Himalaya and Indus-Sagara, between that is Hindustan. So geographical identity was given, but not political identity, not language identity, not religious identity. This is very significant because they could not figure out who the hell we were even then. As even today you can't figure out who the hell you are, that's why you're asking this question. Even then, the same question as your Vice-Chancellor asked, Sadhguru, would you answer the question, who am I? So we still can't figure out who the hell we are. Because this has been a land of seeking, never a land of belief. If you want a religion, essentially when somebody says, I'm religious, they always say, I'm a believer, isn't it? Let's explore this word belief. How many of you believe you have two hands? All of such people just at least raise one hand, please. Do you believe you have two hands or do you know you have two hands? You know. If somebody starts an argument with you and tries to prove to you you have no two hands, if their argument becomes too overwhelming, one slap in the face. He knows you got hands, isn't it? But there are so many things you believe. You believe in heaven, you believe in God, you believe in many, many things. Why do you believe? Simply because you have not become straight enough in your life even to admit what I do not know as I do not know. This is a serious problem. Whatever you do not know, you say, I believe. It is so human of you, so wonderful of you to see what you do not know as I do not know, isn't it? I do not know is a tremendous possibility. When you say I do not know, genuinely within you, the longing to know, the seeking to know, and the possibility of knowing becomes a living reality in your life. Otherwise, everything that you do not know, you believe. When you believe, it gives you instant confidence. Confidence without clarity is the most disastrous thing that has happened to humanity. Confidence. All kinds of idiots have confidence. When you don't know, at least you must have hesitation, isn't it? Huh? When you can't see clearly, you must have hesitation. When you can't see clearly, if you're confident, are you not a disaster? You are either a disaster for yourself or for everybody around you. So, this land was never ever identified with belief systems. This has always been a land of seekers. Seekers of what? Seekers of truth and liberation. Just now, yesterday I was at, the BHU in Kashi. You just see there, people are coming from all over the country and now all over the world. In search of what? Mukti. Freedom is the highest value. God has never been the highest value in this culture. All the people whom you worship are people who walked this land at some time, isn't it? And they were not superheroes. They did not drop from the sky or fly in the air or walk up on the water, nothing. Just same grind as you are going through, much more grind than you are going through. If you want to take the example of anybody, either Shiva, Rama, Krishna, whatever the main deities in the country, let's take Rama because he's always in political dispute. He's still in a real estate problem. At the age of 17 or 18, he's been coronated as a king, rightfully, because whatever those days, his father and son. He marries a young princess. In a short while, some political situation, something goes wrong, and they're banished to a forest. Well, in your television, whatever you saw, or in some movie you saw Rama, Sita doing honeymoon in the forest. No, it was an exile. Going to the jungle is not a picnic. Most of you may not know, I've lived in jungles by myself alone, without any outside support. After 3 weeks, when I came back home, my mother would look at me, she couldn't recognize me because from head to toe, insect bites, this, that, you cannot be recognized. Especially if you take girls. When they come out after 2-3 weeks, you cannot recognize them because everything will be swollen, all kinds of things will happen to you if you live in the jungle. So taking a young wife and going, she's not a tribal woman, she's a princess, going to the forest was not picnic or honeymoon, it was an exile. As if that was not bad enough, the Sri Lankan people came and kidnapped the wife. Yes, happened, right? Now, he's a king after all. If one wife goes, he could have found a local solution. A king is entitled to have many wives, but one is gone, he could have found somebody next to him. But the man loves the woman so much. In those days, no GPS, you don't know where exactly Sri Lanka is located. Just him and his brother walk. I want you to imagine the walk from Ayodhya to southern India. Not a simple search. How many people will search for a lost wife 6,000–7,000 years ago, walking 2,000 plus kilometers? How many men would have done that? So, he walked and formed a Tamil army, then went to Sri Lanka, burned down a beautiful city, fought a war, killed hundreds of people, got back his wife. If a man has to do this, that woman should mean so much to him to do such an act, isn't it? Then he brought her back. Again he became a king, again something goes wrong, by then she's pregnant. See, a king's wife or a queen being pregnant means it's not just a pregnancy, it's the future of the nation. It is a big thing, it's not a small thing. And he's a big emperor by then. But something goes wrong and he sends his wife to the jungle, again. No sonogram, so doesn't know whether it's a boy or girl, boys or girls or what. It's not a small thing for a king. If he's going to be a son, it's important for the future of his everything. But he doesn't know, sends his wife away to the jungle. Then she delivers 2 boys, he doesn't know. If something really horrible has to happen in anybody's life, knowingly or unknowingly you kill your own children, this is the worst thing that can happen to you, isn't it? He almost killed his own children. He fought a battle with them, nearly killed, he had intent to kill, not knowing they're his children. Fortunately, it did not happen. But anyway, he never again saw his wife, she died in the jungle. You don't call this a success story, isn't it? Hello? You don't call this a success story. Then why are we worshipping this man? Why is this man celebrated as a great whatever? Simply because no matter what life threw at him, most people would break if one of those situations happened in their life. He is a serial disaster. But in spite of all this, he did not become angry, he did not become resentful, hateful, he managed his balance all the time, did not withdraw, active, doing the best he can, and that's about it. And after he came back from Sri Lanka, he did something fantastic. After having killed Ravana, he wanted to take a year of penance in the Himalayas. Lakshmana, his brother said, "Are you crazy? You killed the man and we had to kill him, he took his wife, your wife. So why do you have to do penance for that man?" He said, "See, he had 10 qualities. The 9 qualities I killed, I have no regret. But he was also a great devotee and I killed that also along with everything else. For that I have to do penance." Because the man is free from whatever is happening around him, you throw the most horrible things at him, he is just who he is. This freedom is called jivan mukti. It is for that freedom that we bow down to him, not because he's a great hero, not because he's a great success. So, in this culture, the only valuable thing is that you attain to freedom from the process of life. What life throws at you is never your choice. It will throw all kinds of things at you. What will you make out of it? This is your choice, isn't it? So we always told you in this culture, never in this… Now people are beginning to say this Uparwala business. Otherwise, in this culture, we always told you, your life is your karma. Yes or no? What does it mean to you? It simply means your life is your making. Nobody up there sitting and managing your life. Well, you're on a round planet and the damn thing is spinning, you don't even know which side is up. Hello? Do you know which side is up in this cosmos? I'm asking you. Is it marked somewhere, this side up? So you do not even know which side is up, but you know who is up. This is a serious problem. No, it's not a laughing matter because it's taking lives. It's taking lives does not mean people are being killed, that's also is happening, that's a different matter. But it's taking lives because instead of creating your life, you're looking up and walking. When forever we told you, your life is your karma, what you make out of it is all there is. What is thrown at you is not in your hands, what you make out of it is 100% yours. So the idea is just this, the fundamental ethos of this culture is not religion. This is a godless country, I want you to know this. There never been the god up there. We worship a few people. It's very appropriate, today people are saying Tendulkar is cricketing god. Whoever excelled in any aspect of life, beyond a certain point, which we considered is normal human being, if somebody excelled, then we say, oh, he's godlike, he's a deva. This word God as a supreme entity never has been here. Here we are always talking about those who have excelled beyond what we normally consider as human as devas. That's why we have 36 million gods and goddesses. You must create more, there's no problem. Because after all, this is the only and only culture on the planet which understands God is our making. Everybody thinks they are God's making. Right now, Vinayak Chaturthi celebrations are going on around the country. See, this is a classic example where we create the God, we will put him there. Next 10 days or 1 month, whatever, our entire life is around him, full emotion, bhajan, dance, music, whole thing. But when the time comes, we go and dissolve him in water. We made the God, we worshipped him, we enjoyed it, we enthused ourselves in a big way using him. When we are done, we dissolved him. This clearly shows you we have an innate understanding God is our making, isn't it? So, here we have only had a spiritual process, variety of spiritual processes, but never religion. We became religious in competition. When outside forces came and too much competition, we are also trying to organize, but you can never organize this culture because if there are 3 people, there are 5 opinions. Within the same house, there are 10 gods. How do you make a religion out of that? No, this is just a process. You use everything for your emancipation, for your liberation. If you listen to the conversations of your mothers or maybe your young people, your grandmothers, not some spiritual conversation, daily conversation if you listen to it, without uttering the words karma, prarabdha, mukti, moksha, there's no conversation in this country. Constant reminder, no matter what you're doing, your education, your family, your business, your spirituality, everything is only towards your liberation, always. Freedom is the highest goal, not heaven, not God.
Wow. So, lots to say. Very, very interesting. I enjoyed the way he spoke. I enjoyed how he was able to explain his version of that answer to that man's question. And that man asked about religion, is it dangerous? I'm basically, agnostic, but I want you to know, or I want you to explain to us. And his whole answer was, here in India, we don't believe in God. We have gods of our own making. We worship because we see that person is able to do something inhuman. They're able to excel in a certain way. That was extremely interesting. This guy seems very, very wise. This guy seems like he knows a whole lot. But it's obviously a different belief system, a different idea than I myself hold. And that's okay. I spent 2 years as a missionary teaching what I call to be the gospel. And it's what he said, the word belief. And he's absolutely correct. There's a big difference between belief and between know. This is what I know. I know the sky is blue. I know I live in a house. I know I have 3 kids. And these are the things that I believe. I completely agree with that. There is a difference between the two things. And I'm not sure if I heard him say it. I'm just inferring now. It seemed as if he put more stock into the know and then the belief. And that is a big difference with the way I feel about things. And religion is a very personal thing, so I'm not going to preach about my personal beliefs or anything like that. That's not what I'm trying to do. But in response to this video, for me, belief is incredibly important. Belief is what separates us, not to be better than others, not to be less than others, but it separates us from other people. I believe in a good way. You have someone that believes in something I would consider evil, like murder. Or you can believe in something that I consider virtuous, even if it's a different religion or different belief, if they're trying to make themselves a better individual person, not better than someone else. I feel that belief, it's more than hope. Hope is different than belief. Belief, with my experience, is based off of the experiences, the fruits of what has happened in those beliefs, the emotional feelings, all of that wrapped up builds up that belief for me. And I believe belief is a very powerful thing. It can be a very dangerous thing as well. It really can be. But I feel like belief allows me to think outside my usual understanding and strive to become better. And at the end of this life, if that belief ends up not being true, he talked about the possibility of not knowing anything. If that belief ends up not being true, when I move on to the other side and whatever happens in the next part of life, if it ends up not being true, am I going to be angry if I'm conscious, if I am an intelligence at that point? No, because I believe the belief that I've had my whole life and I continue to have has allowed me to become a better Nick, a better person, not better than the person next door or the person there, or thank goodness I'm better than that person. Have I had those naive thoughts? Of course. Those immature thoughts, of course, but that's not what it's about for me. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's the biggest difference. I put a lot of stock in belief, and maybe he does too, and maybe I just didn't understand that part. I really enjoyed his retelling of the story that I did not know about the historical figure. And I don't want to guess what the name was because I forget what his name was, but the historical figure that they worship. That was a very interesting story. And he had some really good points, and I really enjoyed that. I love history. Those are my thoughts. Those are my thoughts on the things that he said. If I was in a room with this guy, then I think we can talk for 2 or 3 hours, and I would enjoy every minute of it. But I think we probably wouldn't get any closer to seeing eye to eye in some viewpoints. But that's okay. Me personally, I'm not about trying to convince someone else to believe what I believe in, even though I was a missionary for 2 years. That might sound confusing. For me, sharing my beliefs with someone else is in the belief, in the hope that maybe that can help them out in some way, like it's helped me out. Not to cram it down their throat, not to push it on them, not to convince them, but maybe they'll find the same kind of enjoyment and the same kind of inner peace and centering balance that I have gotten from it. And maybe they don't, and that's okay. I mean that with 100% honesty. I didn't know that early on when I was a missionary, but that's what I left feeling. But I think it's awesome. I think that's great. I hope that this video was something that you enjoyed. It's a different type of video than we do on Boring Reviews, but religion is a big part of my life, and I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to still keep doing movie reviews and trailer reactions and all that kind of stuff, but I appreciate the request here. I believe the reason why this was requested was so that I can learn about that deity, that God that is worshipped. But I appreciate the request. Thank you so much for watching this. If you liked it, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe. And until next time, adios.